Hello, hello, how are you? Wow, I hope you're doing great and I hope the Lord is showing you his favor. Well, this is Gideon Chukwualim, CEO of Divine and Branches Limited. Wow, it's been quite a while. Firstly, I must apologize for not following up on my last email. As they say, life happens. Yeah, life happened to me. I've just buried my darling mother, the last of my parents. It's interesting how all of a sudden certain realities hit you when you've lost both parents. I tell you, time is too short to follow a path of mediocrity. I don't know about you, but my end time has just started. So, in that regard, I have decided to push myself to greater heights of being more helpful and achieve my God given goals. And I'm starting with you. Now, the topic of today's recording, the information I'd like to pass on to you today, it's about this new feature that gives you an edge over your competition when somebody does a search on Google or any of the search engines. But we'll use Google. It's the father of all search engines. Now, when people go online to do a search, they use things like Google, Bing, or Yahoo. When people are looking for things online, that's where they go. And word of mouth, though very reliable and very effective, is gradually dying. But normally, when you ask people for things, where is do you know a good church in this town? They'll say, well, go and Google it. Everybody's go and Google it. Well, the question really that you need to ask yourself is when people go Google, maybe they're searching for a church, will your church be found? Well, you see, people who search for churches to attend, do that for several reasons. The first thing we usually think about with the new people in town, they're looking for a church, but there are many reasons why people look for a church. Apart from being new in town, some people will have moved from one part of town to the other and commute to their old church is, quite a headache. Now, some others, they're leaving church, looking for a new church because they had issues in their present church. Or some just want a better church than the one that they currently have. And you hear people talk a lot about, oh, I'm not connecting properly in this church. I want to go to a new one. And some even look for a new church because they're looking for a marriage partner. I had this, interesting situation where I met a girl and she told me point blank. I said, look, I'm looking for a church where there are many men. Well, she's of marrying age and, she just thinks, well, it must be, I really don't know. But people look for churches, new churches, just because of that. They want to be in a place where they can meet more people of the opposite sex. Now, people also move churches because perhaps they've just broken a relationship with somebody in that church and they really want their space. And sometimes people just move around with itching ears, wanting to hear what they want to hear. And there are also some ridiculous reasons why people leave churches. I mean, it could be the pastor's wife. I heard of a situation where somebody had to leave a church because he didn't like the color of the carpet. He had told the pastor that he should change the carpet. They couldn't afford to change the carpet, so he left the church. I mean, ridiculous, but that many reasons why people leave the church or look for a new church. And when you're looking for a new church, it's the search engines they use. So the question again to you is, when somebody is looking for a church, will they find your church on page 1 of Google? Now, if you've done any search, using Google, I'm sure you've had the same kind of experience that I have, which is that when you go to the first page of Google, look through the 10 things and you can't find what you want, chances are that you will type another search phrase and move on to another search. Hardly people go over to page 2, but even when they do that, that's where they end. So ranking on the first page, the first 10 places on Google is key. Okay, so let's do a search for ourselves and see exactly what we get. Let's say somebody's looking for a church and is looking for a church in, say, Cambridge. That's where I live, Cambridge, UK, for instance. Now, this is exactly what I want to show you. If you notice, the first three options that show up are, at the first part, top part of the screen is three options with A, B, and C at the side, and then a map to the right. This is a new feature that Google has introduced called Google Places. The whole idea is that many people who look for things locally. I mean, somebody wants to buy something. It's not looking for to buy or not looking for a church in Alaska. They're looking for a church where they live. And so Google has prioritized local searches, and they've come up with something called Google Places. So if you notice, the first entry here is this church. When I put my cursor on it, it shows on the right the picture of the church and the map, exactly where the church is and the address. Look at the next entry. Okay, you see the picture on the right has changed. Look at what happens to the third one. It has changed too. So it shows the picture and it shows the map and an address and the phone number and all other things. This is Google Places. Is a thing that Google is doing currently for certain churches, businesses, organizations that are taking advantage of this feature. Now, if you look down after that, you'll see a list of other churches, this time without maps, just straight out churches, straight out rankings. Okay, now these rankings are here on the first page of Google by virtue of either the search engine optimization, otherwise called SEO, that they have done. And some of these people have paid hundreds and sometimes thousands to get the companies, the businesses on the first page of Google. I mean, let's just look and see what SEO will cost you if you were to go that route. Now, this is a company called GetManiac, and look at their listings. They have for bronze, it's 500 setup and 150 per month. Silver, 500 setup, 350 per month, and gold, 500 setup, 500 per month every month. And you have no guarantee that you will get the results that they're telling you will get, because Google is constantly changing their algorithms. Now there's bronze for e-commerce, 500 setup, 500 month, 1000 setup, 750 month, and SEO e-commerce, 2000 setup, 1500 every month. People are paying for this service. People are paying these amounts, which is why they can boldly put it on their website. I mean, look at this one here. This one is slightly on the cut down scale, but it's 150 per month, 200 per month, 300 per month. Now the issue is you can't even guarantee. They don't guarantee you first page listing. I mean, okay, they have a national SEO package that is also on the high end. Now these guys will take this money every month from you, and they cannot guarantee that you will get page one ranking in the first 3 months. Sometimes they tell you 6 months. And they have good reason for doing that, because the SEO business is very fierce. But look at the 3 listings here. These guys have not paid anything for SEO to get to this place. They have used a feature that Google has come up with called Google Places. And this feature is what we want to introduce you to. We want to show you how to do this, and we can help you do this for a fraction of what people are charging, to do SEO monthly. We could do this for just a one-off fee, or we could stagger it for you on a monthly basis so you can afford this service. Now let's do other searches so you can see exactly what I mean. Let's say we're looking for a church in London. So we say church London, for instance, and we hit click. Right, you see the same thing, 3 entries and a map. Okay, and these entries are here not because they've done any SEO or paid any money to get SEO. They've just gotten it because they have a knowledge that many of these other people do not have. Now let's do a more specific SEO. Let's search. Let's do RCCG London for instance, and let's see what happens when we do this. Now look at what happened. Now this is interesting. If you notice, none of these RCCG churches have done use Google Places. So there's no listing at all for Google Places when you do a search like this. They're not using it at all. Okay, because they don't know about it. I mean, you can actually come in here and beat everybody here and take first three listings just because you have done something that they don't know exists. Now let's try some other searches. Let's see what we get. Let's try Birmingham, for instance. RCG Birmingham. Let's see. The same thing. Nobody here. All these are organic listings. Organic listings. Nobody is using Google Places to get this advantage. To get this advantage without paying money. I'm sure these people are perhaps paying some money. Who knows, to their webmasters, and they're doing SEO for them. But that's it. You can come here and get the first three listings for next to nothing, really. Now that's the service that we're saying we can provide for you at a fraction of the cost. You just let us know what you want, and just call me. My number is 07717 843341. That is 07717 843341. Or you can send me a mail at contacts@divineandbranches.com. That is contacts@divineandbranches.com. If this is a service that you will like, and honestly, there's no reason why you shouldn't like this kind of service, call me, send me a mail, and we'll discuss how best to help you, achieve it. Now, a disclaimer quickly. Now, our job will be to give you the first page listing on Google, okay, using this feature we're talking about. But your job is to, when they eventually get to your church, your own job is to make sure that they're welcome, and what they hear is great, so that they will stay. We will do our best to get you the ranking that we're saying we can get you. We'll also advise on how you should position your website, so that when they get to your website, the message is relevant and they'll get to your church. I mean, for instance, how many of you have websites that are mobile optimized? I mean, the statistics show that more than 60% of people who search today use mobile devices, either their phones, their iPads, or things like that. Is your site optimized for mobile? I mean, because people are usually frustrated when they go to a site. They need to pinch and expand to see anything on the site. So those are options. Those are things you need to get in place. Is the message? Is there a compelling message? Is there a call to action on your website? Are your details very clear on your website, or do you have to search for 10 minutes to look for your address? Okay, those are things that you need to put in place. We can advise you on how best to do that if you ask us for a website audit. However, call me and make use of this opportunity. My name again is Gideon of Divine and Branches Limited. So have a great day. I continue to pray for God's favor for you. We have a message, we have a product that is bigger, better than any message or product out there. So let's go out and tell the world about Jesus. God bless you. Have a great day.